Welcome to the True Hunt. Today we have got Director Mr. Shiju is with us, who is heading the All India Private Schools Association, and which has recently moved a plea in the Honorable Bombay High Court as well in regards to protecting the unaided private schools which are under the threat of closure due to RTE 2009. So we would be understanding from Mr. Shiju. Sir, welcome to the True Hunt. Of course, I would first like to understand that what is the issue? Why the fate of 1,33,000 students studying in those schools are on the verge of closure? So what is your take? First of all, how they are not meeting the rules and regulation criteria as per the RTE 2009?
Thank you. Thank you for showing your interest in raising this issue of private school students, those who are studying in the private schools, which are not collecting huge donations. Those private schools in the city, in Mumbai city or in Pune city or in the metro cities of our country, those established schools are collecting huge capital amount, and the children studying in CBSE schools and private schools, Marathi board schools, which are affordable to the middle class families, are affected by this right to education RTE Act and rules. Why it is so? Before forming the rule, the schools started 30 years before. Even in Mumbai city, there are many schools started 30 years before and 45 years before. Now they are facing the crisis issue of closure of schools because of RTE rules, and the government should have a particular formula for protecting and supporting those schools. Then the children from the middle class families, those who are daily workers, employees in different firms in the Mumbai city, and they are living in the streets and in common flats, those apartments, those children will not be able to access the hi-fi schooling in any international schools or any hi-fi schools in Mumbai city. Those schools having the land and all other infrastructure facilities, they do collect more money as capitation fee. The children from the middle class families may not be able to afford such a kind of fees. So what All India Private Schools Association is doing here, trying to protect such schools and ensuring the best quality education for the children studying in such kind of schools by providing a particular protection, like we have applied, we have filed a petition before the Honorable High Court of Mumbai stating that those schools shall be given a special consideration by the government of Maharashtra to give some exemption regarding the land to the common, if they submit the common playground facilities or any other facilities which can be used, and if they submit the fire and safety certificate for the building, and if the government is finding it suitable, those schools which are fulfilling those norms should be allowed to continue. The closure of those schools will make the families miserable where they will get this education. The government is not at all competent to provide the education for all the children studying in private schools in India. All over India, if we take, there are more students studying in private schools than the government schools. So private schools are also necessary to provide, to maintain, and to ensure the quality of education. That's why we are fighting for the protection of private schools.
Sir, I would like to understand that, as mentioned in your press release as well, the schools are not able to fulfill certain norms and rules. So can you name certain norms and rules which those private schools are not able to fulfill? That is the reason they are on the verge of closure.
There are many private schools. For example, one of the schools, Our Lady's High School for Girls, one of the school in Mumbai city, that school is having a lease agreement with the landlord. Actually, the landlord has sold the school building to another owner and purchased by another landlord without the information, without giving any information or notice to the school management committee. Now, when we come to know that the school also will be facing an issue like lack of infrastructure, like 15,000 gundas or 5,000 gundas, and there are many rules regarding the classroom size for 20 into 20 classroom size, and 5,000 gundas or 15,000 square meter space for the buildings, including the playground areas. All those things are the otherwise either the school should be run by a trust or a society, and that is also another rule. But most of the schools nowadays are run by societies or trust, And the schools which are having lease agreement, now they may not be able to renew because of some certain legal issues faced by the schools between the landlord as well as the school owners. Landlords are using this opportunity to avoid the school from their building so that they can utilize the building for commercial purposes. But using of education for our children, that is the most important thing.
Sir, I would like to understand one more point. Of course, there are certain rules and regulations, and for the rules and regulation, if they are not followed, government have always got a choice to closure or put some sort of punishment or something, because you have to adhere with the rules and regulations. So in this case, as you are also saying that the lease are finishing, end of the day, it is the choice of the landlord that whether he should renew or not. In this case, sir, everybody is right at their position. They are not going some off the way or under the way. They are going rightly through the rules and regulations. So in this case, what is your plea to the government that they should accommodate those students into the big schools, putting some sort of criteria? So what is your take on that, sir?
Yes, our argument is that those children studying in such a school should be accommodated in other schools with the RTE fund of government. There are many cases pending before the Honorable High Court of Mumbai that government has not paid RTE fund for those children which are under the RTE Act. The fund should be given by the released by the government authorities, and it is taking prolonged time for 3 years, more than 4 years of accounts are pending. The government has not been paid the amount. One more thing, we are arguing before the court that those schools who all are ready to fulfill the criteria to submit the lease agreement or to show the building facilities, those schools should be given sufficient time, at least 6 months time. All of a sudden, at the beginning of this academic session, schools have been started, classes have been begun. So now the closing letter, all those things will make miserable. The parents will be in miserable condition. Students will not get good admission and quality education, and they will be in a dilemma that where to go, where to start, whether they will get RTE education under the government scheme. All those things are making the confusion. That is what we are going to. And in the stay petition also, it is mentioned that the High Court should give a stay order immediately to stay further proceedings so that the students can continue
Time.
Education at least this year.
Sir, very rightly said. Sir, of course, my next question goes to government is doing lots of things in the education sector as well. As education is the core of a nation building, it is very necessary to become educated for each and every citizen, for each and every child. So in this case, sir, recently we have seen the implementation of NEP, National Education Policy I'm talking about. As you are a director of a All India Private Schools Association, so how do you see those steps taken in implementing the National Education Policy?
National Education Policy is the flagship project of the central government now, which is in implementation, and it deals with the curriculum, quality of education, planning of syllabus, everything. That's a good note. And we all should cooperate and we should try to understand the holistic approach of education mentioned in the National Education Policy. And that is a good note. And by the implementation of NEP and its curriculum framework, the students will get, as per RTE, the best quality education. That is the right of the child. And India is striving to become the world power. All the students should get the best quality education. Now, come up with this issue for a discussion. We have to appraise that it is a good note, that it is a good subject matter to discuss. Education means we should consider the poor people, the village people,
Yes.
and even people living in the cities, those who are working class, employees. For those children, this NEP is good, and the NEP is a holistic approach towards the education. And with the NEP as well as right to education should go hand in hand, then right of the child shall be protected.
Sir, my next question is, of course, it deals with All India Private Schools Association. How many schools are associated with you on all India level?
It is a national level organization. We have state committees in all the states, and more than 18,000 schools schools from across the country are under our organization. All the private schools, irrespective of the syllabus, CBSE state board or ICSE syllabuses, all those schools which are self-financing, those schools are our member schools. Now we have more than 18,000 member schools, and this organization is the biggest private schools organization in India right now.
So, sir, how many unaided private schools on the verge of closure due to non-fulfilling of certain criterias under 2000, rather I would say under 2009 RTE?
Across the country, there are more than 13,000 schools facing the same issue regarding the RTE.
Sir, in nutshell, what we could understand in terms of unaided private school, your demand is give them 6 months time so that the schools which are willing to fulfill the criteria should do that. Or if not, the schools which are not able to fulfill the criteria, they should be given, the students studying in those schools should be given an opportunity to study in other school with relaxation norm in the fee structure and other facilities. Am I right, sir?
Yes, yes, yes. That will be help for the student parents of those community. That will be a big help for the parents. And raising this issue, the All India Private Schools Association, we have decided to conduct a meeting of school owners, school principals on 1st July, this coming Saturday in the Courtyard Marriott Hotel in Mumbai to discuss the further course of action. And we will start a protest, and we will already we have approached the Honorable High Court. We are expecting a stay order from the court very soon.